Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever and wherever you are hearing or watching this theme park news update. I am the CHALL Doncaster born but built for theme park journalism, and welcome to a theme park news update from Busch Gardens Williamsburg. They've revealed all but the name and a few other details about their brand new investment for 2025. Yes, it's going to be a brand new roller coaster. Yes, it's going to pay homage to the iconic Big Bad Wolf roller coaster. And yes, we've got everything here on the channel to go through in terms of the details surrounding this project. There are a few details still missing, however, we're going to go through all of that in this particular update. So for those of you watching on YouTube, make sure you like the video, comment down below your thoughts and opinions, subscribe to Chall Chats YouTube channel if you are new, click the notification bell so you never miss another theme park news update on the channel or any other content across the channel. We've got a very exciting schedule coming up in October, so stay tuned for more. Those of you listening on Apple or Spotify, please make sure you are downloading, listening back, following us on all audio platforms. All the links for all the socials and all the platforms across visual and audio platforms are all linked in the description across every single platform. So it doesn't matter whether you're watching or listening, you can follow everything we do on every platform by looking in the description. And for now, ladies and gentlemen, thrill seekers of all ages, let's go through this project for 2025 at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. And a big thank you to everyone who's been viewing the content across this entire project. We've got nearly 2,000 views across all the shorts we've done, revealing the park's teaser programs ahead of the main announcement video. And also we gained nearly 3,000 views on just the other last video project from this particular coaster alone. So thank you very much. Let's get into everything we know so far to this day. So let's first of all give you the details then on this particular project, just to give you a bit of a recap as to where it will be, a bit of details surrounding the coaster and everything like that. So this will be located on the site of the former Drachen fire roller coaster, with a potential section of track crossing over a section of land which formerly occupied the Big Bad Wolf. This will open for 2025, and it's confirmed to be a family inverted roller coaster manufactured by the world famous Bolliger and Mabillard, also known in the attractions community as B&M. This will be North America's longest family inverted coaster, with a track length of 2,583 feet, up to 40 miles per hour in max speed, and a rider height restriction of 48 meters, 42 meters with a supervising companion or adult. Now, this is mainly taking the plot of the old Drachen Fire roller coaster. Let's give you a bit of history and a bit of a recap on that particular ride at the park. It was a classic Arrow custom looping roller coaster with a length of just over 3,500 feet, a height of 150 feet with a 145-foot drop and a max speed of 60 miles per hour. Drachen Fire operated between the 4th of April 1992 all the way up to 1998. Now, Drachen Fire is a classic thrill roller coaster, and that's part of the park hadn't been touched by a big project for several years. However, now we're going to see this big new family thrill project come into the park on the plot of land that used to be home to the Drachen Fire roller coaster. Now, as I also did say, a section of the track will take over a part of section that used to be home to the Big Bad Wolf. Now, the Big Bad Wolf roller coaster is an Arrow suspended roller coaster attraction with a length of 2,800 feet, an 80-foot drop, and a max speed of 48 miles per hour. Now, this operated between the 15th of June 1984 all the way until the 7th of September 2009. Now, the Big Bad Wolf was replaced after its anniversary season by the Bolton, a Sierra elevated seating coaster with 2 launchers and a dark ride element. I won't tease exactly what goes on in that show building for those of you who haven't experienced the Bolton yet, such as myself. Now, the Big Bad Wolf was an iconic roller coaster, and there were plans before the official removal of the ride to look at replacing Big Bad Wolf. However, that Bavarian beast and the spirit and legacy that it left behind at the park was left filling a void, and now the void has been filled with this brand new roller coaster. So let's give you the backstory on this brand new project. Long ago, a wolf swept through a Bavarian town, turning townsfolk to werewolves and destroying the village. 40 years later, it's time to honour the past during the annual Festival of the Silent Bells. The area is quiet at first, but strange noises are soon heard. Footsteps and growling, then bright red eyes appear. The wolf has returned. An exhilarating adventure across the German countryside awaits guests in 2025 when riders become the beast on Busch Gardens' all-new family-friendly inverted roller coaster. As the sound of screams and the echoes of howling wolf create chaos in the familiar town, riders will experience over 2,500 feet of track traveling up to 40 miles per hour while bolting through the streets of an abandoned Bavarian village. Now, what about the name of this project? Well, we have 3 names to choose from via an official vote, and you can cast your vote on the Busch Gardens website. I've left the link on all platforms in the description down below, whether you're watching or listening to this theme park news update. Here are your 3 options. The first option is Geisterwolf or Geiserwolf. Now, this means ghost wolf in German, which sounds pretty similar to the storyline. The second option is Wolf's Reign. Wolf's Reign, all one word. All these are one word, by the way. So you've got Geisterwolf as one word, Wolf's Reign as one word, which I think is a pretty intriguing name. And the third and final word, which I like the sound of, it's the one that I've personally voted for, Wolfsturm, which stands for Wolf Storm in German. So those are your 3 name choices. Again, you can vote using the link in the description on all platforms. Now let's analyse this particular roller coaster. So we are going to analyse the potential POV of this attraction using ML Designs' concept POV. Shout out to him when it comes on screen. I've tagged him, I've copyrighted him in the top corner when we do the analysis of the POV or the expected potential POV, which is a 90% accuracy of the layout. But let's get into, first of all, my thoughts on the entire project, and then after we've analysed the POV, we're going to analyse the 3 names in a bit more detail and talk about why I think Wolfsturm is my favourite, and also analyse the other names as well. But we're going to first of all talk about the project itself. So first of all then, a family inverted roller coaster replacing the void left by Big Bad Wolf, coming into Busch Gardens Williamsburg for 2025. First of all, do I think that this is the right investment for the park? Yes, I do. I think that a family inverted roller coaster is a perfect way to homage Big Bad Wolf in such a way to bring back that Bavarian village, to bring a storyline through it, a real beastly storyline. It's a bit of family horror, it's a bit of cult vibes in there, a bit of Twilight vibes in there, and it really gives off this kind of happy Oktoberfest mixed with the darkness of the Big Bad Wolf coming back and, you transforming into the beast itself, rampaging through the Bavarian village, abandoned by the people that lived in the Bavarian village. I think the storyline is very, very unique. And one particular thing I wanted to note about this, the storyline and how it works in the area, etc., around Festos Park, etc., one thing I wanted to note in particular is when you look back at Devin Olsen Media's Verbolten documentary, shout out to Devin Olsen, wonderful documentary back in 2012, absolutely loved it. Now, one particular thing that one of the management of Busch Gardens said in that documentary was about the story, where he wants to take people out of the village of Germany and into the Black Forest. What I like about this particular storyline for this particular investment is the fact that it kind of includes both in a way. It includes the darkness and the evilness of this beast, or transforming into this beast, rampaging through, causing chaos during the Festival of the Silent Bells. But you also have that happy Oktoberfest, Festhorse style atmosphere going on. So you bring 2 storylines together to create a major storyline for this brand new attraction. And I think it's very creative thinking by Busch Gardens to really incorporate the happiness of the overall Festos Park and the Oktoberfest style atmosphere going on with the festival and the silent bells. And then you bring it into the darkness of the storyline, people transforming into these wolves, these big bad wolves, and rampaging through this abandoned Bavarian village that celebrated the Festival of the Silent Bells, deserted by the people, afraid of the wolves coming back to, hunt them down. And I think that storyline-wise, it's a very creative way of nurturing the happy and the dark side of Festos Park and that whole German area. So they've done a really good job storyline-wise to really incorporate it into the area. Now, in terms of the actual coaster itself, a family inverted roller coaster pays the best homage to Big Bad Wolf. Would I have liked it to have incorporated swinging trains to really pay homage to Big Bad Wolf and B&M do their own kind of custom new concept? Of course I would have done. But I think usually with custom new concepts or new concept rides in general, especially when you look back at the surf coaster. We kind of heard about that a year or two before we saw the introduction of Pipeline at SeaWorld Orlando. And if we were going to see a swinging coaster, we were going to hear something about it, I would say, a couple of years before it happened. So, unless they kept it really under wraps. So, yes, I would have liked the swinging trains. However, with the technology they've got, with what they've got to work with, this is the perfect kind of investment. And I think with Phoenix Rising going into Tampa this year, I think that a 2-for-1 deal across 2 back-to-back years across both Busch Gardens parks is the best route to go down, from a company decision, a brand decision, a business decision, as well as a financial deal decision in terms of creating a financial package to create 2 versions of the ride, 2 different themes for both parks in different years, in alternate years, one for 2024 and one for 2025. So very good work there from the company in producing that deal in cooperation with Bolliger and Mabillard, the manufacturer. Now then, before we get into the names and analysing each of the names and wrapping up this news update, let's analyse this POV. Shout out to ML Designs for the concept POV. It's about a 90 to 95% accuracy because we haven't got a POV yet from the park, but when we have that, we'll upload it onto YouTube on Chall Chats. Let's analyse this POV, shall we? So we're going to get ready to analyse this POV coming 2025, North America's longest inverted family roller coaster. The Beast is back. I cannot wait for this one. This is going to be a wonderful investment in 2025. So it climbs up that lift hill right there across the 2,500 plus feet of track, the 2,583 feet of track overall. It goes down and it launches up over the building into a nice bit of airtime there, turns a bit around, works its way down to a bit of an S-drop almost, and then a nice big overbank wave turn almost, around the trees, through some theming before it does a nice stall turn to the right-hand side, twisting back down past all the Bavarian villagers. You get a nice near-miss element there as it turns back around. It turns to the right over bits of the theming into what looks like a second lift hill right there at the back end of the coaster's layout. This is going to be what could be a multi-lift hill roller coaster across the 2,583 feet of overall B&M coaster track. The second lift hill sends the coaster down over past all the trees into a second, even steeper wave turn, overbank turn, before a nice grounded turn, twisting its way through the foresty grass atmosphere. Of course, that will be filled with something before it turns and twists into that brake run. So to wrap up this news update, let's analyse the names, or the expected names, or the voted names for this brand new roller coaster. So let's start off with Ghost Wolf, Geister Wolf. I do like that name. I think it's pretty good. When I was voting for my choice, which I'll go through at the end because the last one, spoiler alert, is the one I voted for, but Geister Wolf and the other names, I was kind of picturing in my head when I was making my vote personally, right, I was closing my eyes and thinking, right, what do I think's best on merchandise, on signage, on clothes, on anything? What do I think from an icon standpoint, from a marketing standpoint, what do I think stands out that best references the story, best references the experience, the history of the site, and much, much more? So first of all, Geister Wolf. I think it's a standout name. I think all of them, to be fair, are standout names. I think Geister Wolf could stand out from a merchandise perspective, and I think from a logo perspective as well. There's some really cool ideas to go with here. You could do a variation of the classic Big Bad Wolf logo into a bit more of a modern design, a bit more of a shadowy, spiritually banshee type feel with it. You see the ghost type figure on the Banshee logo or the Banshee branding at Kings Island for the Bolliger and Mabillard inverted coaster. The Thrill one, not the family one, of course. I feel like Geister Wolf would stand out on its own as a really good marketing tool in terms of promoting a spiritual wolf rampaging through the Bavarian streets. Then you've got Wolf's Reign. Now again, this is a very standout name idea, and I think that Wolf's Reign again is standalone. It's straight to the point, and I think that it has a lot of potential, especially from a merchandise perspective as well. The one I went with, though, is Wolfsturm, or Wolfstorm in German. And again, I personally felt this was the dominant one. I felt like Wolfsturm was the perfect one. I think it felt right with the Bavarian village. It's almost like these people transforming into wolves are storming through the Bavarian village, rampaging through the streets in this Bavarian adventure. And for me personally, I think Woolsturm made the most sense in terms of cross-referencing to the backstory, the history of the site, what the whole idea behind the ride is, because every good ride has a purpose. So Air Alton Towers, for example, your purpose is to assume the position and feel like you're flying. Nemesis Reborn at Alton Towers, the purpose is to ride around or be thrown around by the beast Nemesis held down by the Phalanx. The Swarm at Thorpe Park, you've been abducted by this alien invasion, these creatures known as the Swarm from up above, and you're being swooped around the apocalyptic island of devastation. With this particular ride, you are transforming into the Big Bad Wolf, or a version of a Big Bad Wolf, and you are rampaging through the Bavarian streets. Hence, in the layout, while we've got the twists, the turns on parts of the theming of this ride experience. So it has to have a purpose, and the name Woolsturm best references or best cross-references back to that original purpose of what the guests will be in terms of part of the story of this ride experience. And that's how you storytell in the theme park industry. I think Woolsturm, in my opinion, is the best name for that particular reason. It'd be interesting to see where the votes swing in terms of who wins the vote, but overall for me, I feel like Woolsturm is the more dominant name. Busch Gardens Williamsburg is investing in a brand new investment for 2025 that is without doubt a successful, or a potential to be successful, big new family thrill investment. And here on Chall Chats, we're going to keep an eye on all the progress on site from this brand new roller coaster. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching or listening to this theme park news update. Make sure you cross-reference and make sure you go and subscribe and follow all our platforms linked in all the descriptions across every platform. I am the CHALL. Ta-ra for now, and that is the end of your theme park experience.